welcome everybody to Two Dudes Arguing Life Over Beer. My name is Tim Ryan. This is Jerry Ring.
Hello, everybody.
And our job here today is both to be the two dudes. We're going to argue life. This is our 5th episode. We'll discuss what they've been so far.
We have enjoyed each and every one of them.
We have, and we're going to do this all over beer. To give you a synopsis of who we are, we are friends since we were
16
years old. Do the math, we met in 1977.
That's correct.
And those days, when you're that young, you do not have, most people do not have
Political opinions.
opinions at all. And even if you had a leaning by nature, it certainly isn't something you discuss usually.
Particularly in the 70s.
The 70s or just in general when you were in high school, maybe more today. However, here we are going on 50 years later, but there is one theme that has been consistent since high school, and that is beer. And Jerry picked out a beer for this particular episode.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, Polaner, German
Oktoberfest.
German
beer.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. All due respect to Sam Adams, I went with the Germans.
Yeah, my favorite, Sam Adams, Patriot and Brewer. But this is our 5th episode, and just so you understand the concept here, Jerry and I are friends all this time, but as we learned as we grew up and grew older, is that we tend to vehemently disagree.
We developed different political opinions and priorities, and that influenced a lot of our conversations.
Yeah. So the short of it is that during or shortly after one of our arguments, Jerry did turn to me and say something very important. He said, "At least I can talk to you."
Absolutely.
And that kind of triggered something for both of us, that is something that most people cannot do.
Our differences are not going to ruin the friendship. Plus, the talking, I do think, helps understanding. Even if you don't necessarily agree, you can certainly improve your understanding of the other person, and that puts them in a different light. And it makes them, it helps both sides, I think, stay united.
Yeah. So episode 1 was artificial intelligence, which is, it's sort of a controversial topic. I don't think that we completely disagreed on most things there, but we have disagreements there.
Particularly since we have limited intelligence, but go ahead.
Limited intelligence is true. We have LI.
Yes.
But after that was immigration. We disagree there pretty strongly.
And that's a topic we might want to revisit at some point.
Yeah, I think that it probably is worth revisiting. Then we went to Doge. And Doge still needs to play out a little bit more, although while their activities are done, I think those results will just keep rolling out probably for years to come. So we'll see where that all ends up, but we didn't agree there either.
But we learned.
We do learn because we gather our information. Although while most people might think it's from the same sources all the time, that's not really true. And then after that was MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, and that is kind of my wheelhouse. So other than vaccines, where I will let that one go because I really have no expertise. I have opinions, but there's no expertise. I believe everything that Bobby Kennedy says regarding nutrition, regarding our lifestyles. Like, he's very, very accurate there.
And I think that speaks to the fact that sometimes labels get in the way of understanding. What I mean by that is you say RFK Jr. to somebody on one side or the other, and it evokes strong feelings.
Yeah.
But sometimes people really don't understand
the
depth. And what we did by discussing it is recognize that RFK Jr. talks a lot about quality of environment, quality of health, quality of eating right and healthy food, which we both agreed on. So we find a lot of common ground, and we find differences. And sometimes with the differences, it's good to just understand why we're different, why we have different opinions.
Yeah. And then today, I think it's going to be very similar to RFK. People have a very visceral response when they hear a certain name. And today, I will tell you that I was very, very taken when Charlie Kirk was murdered. But far more importantly, what bothered me was the response to him being murdered. And in particular, I did a live video talking about Charlie Kirk and his effect on me. And it was not met well.
Oh, really?
It was not met well. And I've already lost about 16 Facebook friends.
Don't tell me. I don't want to be surprised. I mean, let's have our conversation.
Yeah,
I don't want to know. You're going to work through it here.
We can get into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that'll be part of our conversation. But before anything, let's share a beer, Jer.
Let's share a beer. In fact, before that, though, I just want to say we're going to discuss Charlie Kirk. We're going to talk about his life, his legacy, and, as Tim said, the follow-up. But in no way does this conversation intend to imply anything about supporting political violence. We both agree Charlie Kirk should not have been shot. There's no place for political violence in a democracy. It weakens the democracy. I think we both agree on that. And what we may disagree with somebody, disagree with their opinions, like their opinions, it doesn't mean that there's we're not trying to validate the situation. We disagree with the shooting. We're here to debate Charlie Kirk, which, as somebody who was a debater, I think would appreciate a healthy debate.
Yeah. And we'll get into that exactly because who he was and what he represented, I think has a lot to do with what we are doing and what we are talking about. So just like we would have in 1977, Jared, let's enjoy a cold brew.
Yes.
Should we just open them both?
Yeah, we'll open them both. Although apparently these are tall boys, so I'm not sure that at our age we're going to be finishing these.
Yeah, first toast.
Oh, yes, absolutely. To Oktoberfest and to good, healthy conversation.
To the deplorables
and
to the
libtards of the world, yes. We salute you both.
I'll tell you up front that this Paulana Oktoberfest is much lighter to me than I would have suspected. I think Oktoberfest is way darker than that. But here you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice flavor.
I was going to say, very good flavor. Yep. To me, it's a good balance between not being too light or too dark.
Yeah, and you can tell it's German.
Strong, you
can tell this is German.
A little bit of bitter at the end, but it's very
German
good.
bitter.
Yes.
I'm going to guess in 1977, wow, we would have drank all of this. It might not have been something we would have enjoyed at 15, 16 years old.
That, and we would have bought the cheaper beer.
Excellent point. Milwaukee's best.
Yes.
whatever it was
Schmitz.
back then. Schmitz, Schlitz, Pabst, Blue Ribbon, which are all coming back. Schaefer.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, so just so everybody understands what I'm about to say and why I'm about to say it, I'm going to let Jerry, the Democrat, liberal, progressive, I want you, if you don't mind, please share with me and whoever's watching, what you know of Charlie Kirk, what you think of Charlie Kirk, what is your impressions of who he is or what he was?
Okay, and but let me just back up for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Just note that, again, political violence, opposed to political violence, no way supporting the shooting. And lessons of history show that, unfortunately, political violence is sometimes Roman Republic and the German Republic between the wars were both brought down by political violence. So political violence can be dangerous to a democracy, and we're both opposed to that. I think we both agree.
Yeah.
I don't know Charlie Kirk. I've not followed Charlie Kirk as much as Tim seems to indicate. So I did some homework leading up to this.
Sure, okay.
I mean, I was aware from the newspapers and press reports that he was, I'm going to say, a right-wing speaker that at times was controversial on college campuses. And I believe at times there were protests on college campuses when he spoke.
Frequently, yeah.
And I think that's wrong. I think college campuses should be the place to hear different opinions. The right and the left, particularly in college, and any other public forum, should be allowed to hear free speech, to hear someone speak their ideas. That's the best way to counter a bad idea. And I'm not saying bad ideas are good ideas, but nobody's perfect. Probably nobody's right 100% of the time, wrong 100% of the time. But airing out an idea, hearing a recourse, debating it is important. And I know Charlie Kirk was big on doing that, and I applaud that. And
He would, because you're exactly right, right? So he would, just to confirm what you're saying, he went to college campuses frequently.
Right.
He invited anybody to speak. Anybody could speak. And what I enjoyed about him is he would put his microphone down so that he knew that whoever wanted to speak could finish their thought.
So I'll say I watched a couple of YouTube videos, right, of him in I think Oxford, and he did that, and it's a good thing because unfortunately, in a lot of public discourse, and we try not to do it, you step on each other, right?
Yeah.
And you do it sometimes. Not you. One will do it on purpose, and that's wrong. You should listen to the other person and then respond to their points and so forth. So yes, he did that.
But what is your opinion? Like, because he is. I don't think he's controversial, but many people think he's controversial. So from what you've gathered in a short time or what you believed beforehand or understood from the libertarian's perspective.
I would say, I'm going to go from kind of start off small, which is he was a bit of a provocateur. And I get that, meaning that sometimes it seems to me, he would pick a topic or an angle and advocate for it, that would get a rise out of people. And he would say things to get a rise out of people, and maybe not the goal of debating the topic from an academic perspective, but saying it in a way that can get a rise. And I'll mention some in a second. And I think sometimes, while on one hand, it was admirable, as Tim said, that he would debate, I'm going to say average people, not professional debaters. Other times when I was watching some of them...
Do you mind if I just interrupt for 1 second?
Okay.
All right, because what you just said is one of the key elements that people would attack him on, right? Why are you coming to college campuses to debate with non-professional debating college students? And he was insistent on saying two very important things. Never underestimate a college student, never. And these are voters. So he would frequently say the indoctrination of students at most universities. He just wanted to bring discussion, conversation.
Right.
And I do say conversation because, like I said, he lets them speak and then he puts the mic down and waits. So,
although sometimes there is a sense of watching Muhammad Ali beat up a college boxer, in essence, that he is coming in professional, but yes, you're giving the students an opportunity to interact with somebody else, and the students were, by and large, many of them I saw were very educated, very knowledgeable. Some were maybe outside their element, but that's okay. And he did bring to the table very important topics that need to get discussed. Topics such as the condition of men in society today. Statistically, there are some issues men are facing in society today. He brought those to the table. I'm not saying I agree with his points, but it was good to discuss it. He talked about the role of women today, talked about the role of religion today, talked about the role of race. All those topics are important topics to discuss, and I don't always agree with his opinions, but I will acknowledge and appreciate him putting them on the table to discuss.
Okay. I don't know where we're going to approach our first break. I don't want to take it yet, because I just want to, first of all, thank you for sharing your impressions of him are. And I guess at face value, you're not inaccurate. But there's a difference between when he goes to college campuses and when he does his show. When he does his show, it's his topics and his conversation, and he invites people on. But when he goes to the college campuses, he's not in control. He gives them whatever it is that they want to say. And when I will also say that when you say, let's just say they're less prepared or he's a professional, it's not that he's a professional debater. Whether he is or is not relevant. The fact that he is so smart, that he has such a deep, deep, deep understanding of the topics and very, very well educated is why he can say, prove me wrong. And it's not that I won't say I ever saw somebody prove him wrong. I will not say, I didn't see that.
I was going to say that on a few occasions when I was watching some of the videos, I felt that his opponent did bring up good points.
But when they do, he always says that.
Okay, in this case, he didn't. I thought that could have been acknowledged.
Okay. One of the things that I appreciated is when he heard a perspective that whether it put him in a position that is counter to his position, but is valid, he'd always say, well, actually, that's a good point. I can see that. He still may follow it up with his belief, but he would acknowledge that. We're going to get a little bit deeper. But we do have to take breaks.
Absolutely.
So we have to take breaks. So I'm going to send it to Bobby. We'll be back in 90 seconds, 120 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Jerry, Isogenics is, I represent Isogenics, and it's our only sponsors. I think we see.
You sponsor us.
Yeah, I'm the sponsor. And I just want to throw it out there. I mean, and I'm really trying to convince Jerry to get healthier. Detox your body and feel better. Those products will help you, Jerry. As we drink beer, I'm saying this, as we're drinking beer.
A lot of life is about the right balance.
Yes, but first you have to detox and be balanced before you can go off balance. We're going to get right back into it. But the first thing I want to do is remind our viewers how long we know each other. And I think that we, at our age, are very, very lucky that social media did not exist.
I totally agree with
80s.
that. Yes.
However, I was a photographer and did frequently have my camera. So, Bobby, would you throw just maybe one of those old pictures up there? I don't even know which one this is. Oh. Again, as a photographer, I work. And oh my God, is that Cheryl
Apologize to John DeGraw.
John DeGraw in short shorts. But that's.
You may want to change that picture. Let's pull up another one.
That's Cheryl Teagues, right?
Yeah, Cheryl Teagues.
Cheryl
yeah.
Teagues,
I kept asking her out. She never agreed. She never said yes.
So, this was up in Pennsylvania somewhere.
That's right.
This is how stupid we were.
That's right.
We are miles and miles and miles from home, and we're playing chicken over a stream.
That's right. One of us got wet. I think it was me.
Yeah. This is the mayhem that we used to.
It was fun. It was fun. Just good, clean fun. Yes.
Had no idea that we were really what we were getting ourselves into. But, Gerald, let's take another good sip of our.
Change my hands here. There you go.
Of our beer here.
Okay. So why don't you talk about what you liked about Charlie, and I'm going to raise some issues that I've read or heard that I'm concerned about.
So I'm not going to go directly into that.
Okay.
But I wrote myself a list of all the things that I knew we could talk about Charlie Kirk, and any one of those things, I feel like I have understanding to be able to talk about.
Okay.
So, and the one thing I think that people just do not understand about Charlie Kirk, that this is a very, very faithful man, right? He is a God-loving, Jesus-loving, God-fearing man. And if you can understand that first, everything else you hear about him, you might go, what? That doesn't make sense. If he's such a faithful man, that doesn't make sense. And I'm going to tell you, that's right, because you misunderstand it. And he's being misquoted. It's completely taken out of context. So faith first. If people understood him, that he was faith first, the rest of the dominoes will fall appropriately, or the rest of the puzzle pieces will go into place appropriately. But I am shocked. The way he speaks is so blunt and so
Does speak
straight up.
bluntly.
It's blunt, making it very easy to dissect and take out of context. That's the first thing.
Okay.
But we could talk about his position on DEI. We can talk about, and within the DEI world, we can talk about black pilots. We can talk about black pilots.
That's right. And what did he say about black
Well, we'll get to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we can talk about the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
That's right. What did he
Talk
say about that?
Well,
No,
let's discuss
Okay,
that.
let's pick one at a time.
All right. We could also talk about his belief on homosexuality.
Let's talk about that.
And transgender.
And the fact that he had said that stoning LGBTQ people was part of God's perfect law.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, we'll get to that because I
heard him say it. I saw it.
Let's
Yeah.
first say it doesn't. Everything he says doesn't mean that I have to agree with all
That's fine.
of it.
That's and I start off the premise with no
Yeah.
one's 100% right, no one's wrong.
Right. So
and,
he talks very bluntly about abortion. He talks bluntly about his belief in marriage and women.
Yes. And they should be subservient to men.
That is not.
He said it recently about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Okay. Again, look at the context and maybe we'll understand.
Okay.
Look at his wife. Understand who his wife is. Put it into perspective.
All I'm saying is that he made these statements, and they're debatable.
Which one do you want to hit first, Jared? Go right ahead. I want him to hit DEI.
I'm not as familiar with his DEI statements, but go ahead.
How about the black pilot?
The black pilot.
Hit me with the black pilot.
Okay.
What do you understand?
So he said that if you got on the plane, there was a black pilot, he would be concerned because of DEI.
Yeah, and specifically,
Do you know what you have to do to become a pilot? The FAA tests and requirements?
let's reel it back. So what was the quote?
The quote was something along the lines of...
Not something across the lines.
I don't have it written down here.
Okay.
But I do have written down here statements he made regarding the civil rights movement.
No, let's go back. Let's be specific,
okay.
Jerry. Let's be specific because that's how this works, right? If you hear somebody say that Charlie Kirk said, when I get on an airplane and I see a black pilot, I might go, Did he say that, Jerry?
Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
Yes, he did, word for word, verbatim.
Yes. Okay.
In what context did he say that?
You go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that phrase. Everybody knows that he said that. He was talking about DEI, and he is tremendously opinionated, and I agree with him that DEI brings in an element of question.
No, the goal of DEI
Jerry,
is
let me finish. Please let me finish this statement so that we're clear on black pilots. Does he have a problem with black pilots? If you read the memes, yes, that's what they're all saying. That was what the libertards want you to believe. That's not what he said. What he said is DEI means that he might have been hired because he's black before he was the most qualified. Now, he was talking, this is all real conversation about United Airlines stating out loud, we're going to hire more blacks and we're going to hire more minorities, we're going to hire more women as pilots. And his position is, you should be hiring the best pilots, period.
Say that. And just say that. Don't say, if I get on a plane.
He was trying to make
become
an example.
But to become a pilot, DEI generally says, I want to have outreach to give people an opportunity
that is not what it
participate.
Is. When you
but
lower
still
the
need
standards,
to pass. The FAA does not lower standards for different kinds of people. It does not. To pass the test, you have to pass the test.
Look deeper. But with DEI, when they say that, when you're going to pass up somebody who got 100 on the test for somebody who got a 92 on the test, you want the person with the 100, not the 92, because he's black, not because it's a woman. You want the person with the highest score because they're the best. I'm going to challenge you, and I challenge everybody who listened to that and say, let's talk about the NBA. Jerry, hold on.
Okay, it's my turn now.
You can go. Let me just finish the sentence.
Okay.
Does the NBA take more white players, or do they take the best players? It's the best players. That's his position. I made that one up about the NBA, but that's his position on DEI. Go ahead.
Okay. Most of DEI, and
I'm going to put my mic down.
Most of DEI has to do with the goal of outreaching to
I need a beer.
get more participants in participating in education or giving them opportunities. But I am going to switch from DEI, okay? But I'm going to stay in the issue of race relations.
Do I need to cross this off?
He said he called the civil rights movement a huge mistake.
No, that is not what he said.
He did.
He did
He
not
said black
say
people.
that
He said black people would be better. Were better in the 1940s under Jim Crow laws. They were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad and it was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes back then. Okay. Now you commit less crimes in North Korea.
So he did not say. You just said the civil rights movement, which is not what he said.
No, there are two different things. He said, "Call the civil rights movement a huge mistake."
Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Well, sorry.
It's a big difference.
But the act was in response to the lynching, the ghettos, the voter suppression, the Jim Crow laws.
No problems with any of those. Follow him. All of that's good. That's all good.
He just said that you said the act. I said the movement, but
You didn't say the movement.
okay, the act. What was wrong about the act?
Okay, so nothing wrong with the act in and of itself, except it opened up new possibilities for interpretation of that, including DEI. He was not against anything. They already had the right to vote, and he's happy for that.
No. Too many places in the South had poll tax, literacy tests, had different ways to for voter suppression. They had ghettos. There was lynching. So there was a lot of efforts made, and gerrymandering would be an example to prevent certain groups of people from being able to participate in democracy, and that is a bad thing in a democracy.
Yeah,
and the Civil Rights Act was in response to do that.
Yeah. So what if you listen to him thoroughly, it was not the actual act. It's the way it was written and the way it has been interpreted to today. Trust me, he wants minorities. Again, a faithful man. We are in the image of God. He sees no difference.
Okay, let me throw another one out.
Go right ahead.
He said Joe Biden should be, where is it here? Biden is a corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. Mm-hmm. Now, if I change the word Biden to Trump, people would be very upset. But he used the word Biden. I'm upset. He did not go on to elaborate on what crimes Joe Biden did to warrant putting him in jail and saying he should be executed.
Yeah, I never heard that one. That's a new one to me.
I literally saw him say that.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
Yep.
And I'm hoping, whatever it was that he was saying, that he followed that up with an actual explanation of that.
Not that I saw.
Okay, so are we done with Civil Rights Act? Because we're not going to agree about that, because I think that again, what you hear are the sound bites without the context.
Let's go to an extension of civil rights, which was George Floyd. He called George Floyd a scumbag, but he did acknowledge he did not deserve to die. But he did call George Floyd a scumbag, and I find it a little interesting in that immediately after George Floyd's death, he is commenting on George Floyd's character before saying he should not have died. Now, I do think he probably should not have done that. The man had just died.
Do you know that he said it when he died?
Yes, I saw. That's what I read. He also went on to say that
it's what you read.
Right,
we don't know
right.
when it was written. We don't know any of that. But
we can look at it. He claims without evidence that George Floyd died of an overdose, when we all saw on TV a police officer keep his knee on George Floyd's neck for about 8 minutes with other police officers standing around. So there was no need.
I do not want to retry the George Floyd case, right? So there is more to it than either of us know. Mm-hmm. There are people who, and I don't really understand, who don't want us to know. There was more to it with the cop. There's just more to it. The guy was a bad guy, Jerry.
A bad guy or good guy? He didn't deserve.
Under no circumstances should he have been, whether he was in fact killed by the cop. I'm not making any excuses for that.
Let me say this: I'm not a doctor. I wasn't at the autopsy, but I would say visually I can tell. I think that there was no reason for his knee to be on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes.
No argument, but that's not what we're talking about. And I'm not going to argue with you because it didn't look good. I cannot retry the case. It was terrible. Right. It was terrible. I'm assuming he was subdued. So
and they could have put handcuffs on him and it would have been fine.
There is more to it. I'm not going to even attempt that. What Charlie Kirk said about it, listen, he has opinions. He said things, and I'll bring them up. I don't mind. He said things, obviously you're saying that he said things about George Floyd. Never heard that one. But he said things about Michelle Obama. He said things about, oh my God, I can't think of her name right now. He said things about women in government and high positions.
Yes. He said black women stole white women's jobs and they're not very smart. Now,
I did not hear that.
There was a quote.
Not the way I heard it.
I think the key point is that, to me, is that he was not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And sometimes people hold beliefs that have to get challenged and have to get discussed. And the first way to do it is to air it out and get some feedback and challenge it. So either A, as you're saying, on the DEI, one person could take it out of context, or B, someone holds...
No, not could. Did.
Okay. But other
and
times...
that is their mission with somebody like Charlie Kirk.
Right. Other times it could be, hey, Charlie, you said something about women should be subservient to men. When Taylor Swift marries... I don't know. I don't really follow her. Some football player. Okay, yep. A football player. She should be subservient to him, and that women's priority should be to have babies. That's his opinion. He has a right to that opinion. Other people have a right to different opinions.
Do you know why? We could talk about that one, and I don't even care what Travis and
Taylor Swift, whatever.
Taylor. Yeah. I really don't care what they do. His being a very faith-based person believes, and it all came as a surprise to me as I was listening to him, because I was trying to figure out why is he saying these things about women and about marriage, and it's because if you look at the family, and particularly the black family, right? This is where it was very, very strong, and it took me a while to really dig deep enough to grasp it. If you look at earlier in America, when there was a husband and a wife, a father and a mother, and mom stayed home and raised the kids. He's not saying because his own wife was an entrepreneur, but he married her knowing she's a businesswoman. But those roles made happier families, happier people, and a better society.
So I'm going to agree that these topics are important topics to discuss. And I do think sometimes he might have been a bit of a, as I move back to my word, provocateur, to kind of throw out an extreme angle. But there are these tensions regarding race and one's purpose in society and a changing society that have to get discussed and understood, and the consequences. And so I will say it was good that he put them out there and discussed them in a free speech type of way. I do feel that the statements he made at times were ones I disagree with. But he would probably welcome the debate.
He would welcome the debate. Yeah, that was his whole position, and he would appreciate it more if you came with knowledge and something to back up what you're saying. Unfortunately, and I'm not putting you down because you admitted you don't really know much about Charlie Kirk, but you are filling the exact blanks of everybody out there who don't know because they did not listen to the whole thing.
Although in some cases, some of the things I did listen to are questionable, such as we said, his comments about Joe Biden, his comments about women, his comments about George Floyd.
But if you listen to the full video of whatever he was saying about Joe Biden, I am assuring you he'd have backed it up.
So another thing he talked about in the video was that he's against children getting lunches in school because it's a parent's responsibility to feed them. Okay, that's fine, but it doesn't always work out that way, that the kids go to school hungry. And to me, it ties with another thing I read about him, which was he didn't like empathy. He didn't like the word empathy. He doesn't believe in empathy. So someone who is of a Christian background, where empathy, I mean, in the Bible, Jesus died on the cross out of empathy for us, who's opposed to that word. I was a little surprised by that.
Okay, is he opposed to children getting lunches?
He was not opposed to, he was opposed to the government giving it to them.
Exactly.
And my view is the government is us. We're helping our neighbors.
That's the difference between deplorables and libertarians. That's the difference. The government is us. No, we're the government.
That's right.
No, we are. We're the government. They don't decide. We decide. And so I'm telling you.
I'm saying we are not just the deplorables, the libtards together, of both the government and a democracy in a republic.
Yeah.
We vote for representatives who implement policies to help each other, And one of the policies.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Okay.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
Yeah. So the government isn't this monolithic enemy. The government is us.
No, Jerry, the
It's
government.
other people, by the people, for the people.
Yeah, but the government isn't. We are not the suppliers of care for our citizens. No, we're not.
The government absolutely
Does your church do that?
The churches can supplement that.
No,
but
the churches should be the places.
I disagree with that. The government can play that role in a much more effective way than
Oh,
a few food
baloney.
pantries.
You're telling me the government could do anything more effective than the local
Absolutely.
church? No, zero chance.
Absolutely.
You're telling me that the government, look at the VA for God's sake. The VA is the most efficient health care? No way. The government is not the most effective. It is not the most effective, and that is his point. He is for feeding children. He is for caring for children.
But he would rather the child not get fed if the government doesn't do it, and and rely upon the churches and charity. But if they're not available, the child doesn't get fed.
It doesn't.
And no church or charity has the bandwidth, the resources that government can have. And I'm not saying the government does it always efficiently and effectively. It's big. But nobody can accomplish it like the government to accomplish the goal of helping other people.
Completely disagree.
We disagree with that.
Completely disagree. They have proven time and time again that they are inefficient, will muck it up. It'll go from a 200-person committee to 20,000 people still not feeding the students. That's what's going to happen. Or they'll just keep throwing money.
The students are getting free lunches. The students who need it are getting it. The government accomplished it.
Let's get back to Charlie.
Let's get back to Charlie. And I do want to get back to also the aftermath.
Yeah. So we're already past our second break. So,
okay.
Oh, I think I need another sip of beer. Bobby, do you mind going to our second break? All right. Are we back? There we are. We're back. Got to pay closer
We're still
attention
here.
to
Sorry, people.
what's going on the screen there. All right, welcome back, everybody. Jerry, I have taken a deep breath. I was taking another sip of our beer. Before we move on, before we wrap up this Charlie Kirk discussion, again proving that we are long friends. I want Bobby to throw up another one of those historic photos, see what he's got in store for us. Is there anything good? Oh, there you are.
There I am trying to talk to Cheryl Teagues. She never
Teagues.
talked back. She never responded. I tried to ask her to dinner or whatever. Nope, nothing.
You know, when I was younger, it was Cheryl Teagues. Well, she came from the camera store.
Yes.
Before that, it was just a Wonder Woman poster on the wall and Farrah Fawcett.
Okay.
Bobby, do you got another one in there? Anything else? Oh, Rich, I think it was on the same trip that we were climbing over the playing Dare over that.
Yes.
That's our friend Rich, one of the members of the Tone Deafs, which we'll discuss some other time.
Go to one of the ones with the Tone Deafs. Last, real quick. Playing guitars.
Does he even know? Like, can he
down
see
from
that?
there. Down one from there. That one, yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
there we are. Yeah,
we
yeah.
embarrassed ourselves. We had no musical ability, so we created a band called the Tone Deafs, and we would play air guitars for our friends.
Yeah.
Usually it was some sort of dance or silly
Yeah,
routine.
yeah. So we'd pick up anything, hockey sticks,
yeah,
brooms,
yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was. We were. It was nutty. It was nutty. Okay, so we have to wrap this up, Jer. And I just want to say that he had very strong opinions about homosexuality and transgender. Yet, when people people freak out about his positions, but he hired gay people. He had gay people working for him. So while he has opinions, he's never said, whether he said stone them, I don't know why he would have. It's got to be taken out of context because they worked for him.
Well, and I don't know if that was or wasn't, but I will acknowledge that is a very dangerous thing, and it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Taking quotes out of context.
So
is a technique. Variety of people use.
So I just want to say a few more things, right? So he talked about abortion, and I have a very, very strong opinion on abortion. It has nothing to do with my church. I had this feeling before I went back to church, became a Catholic. I didn't understand it though, but I didn't know why I felt this way. But I love when people say, at conception, which is when he believes life begins, and so do I. Everybody's like, oh, they're just a clump of cells. And he one time said, he looked at him and was like, you're a clump of cells.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I love that because it's true. Whether it's 2 cells or a billion.
Charlie Kirk was a debater. He liked free speech. I would like to, though, move to the aftermath.
No, that's why I want to get to it. Right,
okay.
I was leading to it. I was leading to it.
Yep.
So what happened is on the 10th, he was killed, and I heard he was shot. My wife texted me. I was out of town working. I was like, oh my God, please, let it just be. I know this sounds ridiculous. Let it be like when Trump got shot. It was just his ear,
a wound, right.
a wound. But she said doesn't look good. And then of course, 15 minutes later, another friend sent a text. It's so crazy because I could relive it. I hit play on Android Auto, and it read it to me, and there were other people in the car, and I was I got so upset because not that I was a fanboy. I'm only a fanboy of my wife and Jesus. Like that. That's the only thing I'm a fanboy of.
But it is sad to hear.
But it really took me back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was reflecting back because why am I so upset? I don't know this guy. It's not like when my parents died, but it sort of reminded me how I felt, even though I was so young, when John Lennon died.
I was going to say, I remember when John Lennon died, and I guess it's the word I'm going to use is stupid, and sometimes we connect and relate to the individual more than the numbers. So on the same day he died, there was a school shooting.
Yeah.
And yet we're not talking about the school shooting. We're talking about him, and that's human nature to do that. Somebody we connected with on the media. We feel that pain.
Died, but then Michael Jackson died the same day.
Really?
Yeah.
We feel their pain more so.
All right, so let me just say this. So this is what happens, right? So on the 11th, I had a break before I had to go on to my job. And I did a live just sharing my thoughts about Charlie Kirk. But more importantly, the few minutes that I had to look at social media, I couldn't believe what people were saying. I was overwhelmed by the meanness and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't fathom that people would say things like that to somebody who was murdered. It just took me by surprise. So,
and I think that was on the right and the left. It's important to see that both sides, I think, did say the wrong thing after he was shot.
If you say so.
I could read some quotes.
That's all right.
I do want to read some quotes.
I just want to say this.
Okay.
Right. So after that, I was so shocked, and I did this live, and people saw it. And then one of our friends from high school, I referred to her as Dina, wrote me an email or a text, I'm not sure. And she's a deplorable, and challenged me, questioned me. And I said to her, Dina, do you mind if I respond to this online in a debate form? I'll take what you say, and then I'll discuss it. And I will again say, virtually everything she said was completely out of context. And the things that I had no idea about, I typically find, and you might be one of the exceptions, is that when I say, could you be specific about that? Could you share with me the specifics about that? Nobody has an answer.
And that's one of the dangers of, I think, social media. We're all confronted with the powerful image, the one-liner, and that's what we take away. It particularly when it supports our belief, we don't go any deeper. And that's what we're trying to do here, is go a little deeper. Now, I would say, it seems to me, after the shooting, the argument against the left response was, he just died, and you're throwing out all these comments and vile things about how you hated him. And,
well, he deserved it.
or
Right? Things like he deserved it.
I tried to look. I didn't see much of that. I'm not saying he's out there. I saw things like he was a vile person, but he didn't deserve to get shot, not unlike what Charlie Kirk said about George Floyd. But I also saw quite a bit, and this concerns me, beyond the shooting, of people on the right looking for vengeance, and before suspects were even identified, calling this a war against the left, calling that the radical left have to be dealt with. We need to take them out.
No chance.
Oh, I could read the quotes.
Who would say that?
The Democratic Party must be classified as a domestic terror organization.
Who wrote that?
Somebody named Joey.
So Joey, so you're going to quote to me Joey?
The left, I'm sorry, hold on a second. The left party
You went to X?
The left is the party of murder.
Who said this?
Elon Musk.
Okay.
Okay. This is, it's time for the Trump administration to shut down, defund, and prosecute every single leftist organization. Laura Loomer, who's one of Trump's supporters.
Yeah.
If they don't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. This one is Eric Trump. I'm sick and tired of seeing the bullets that are only going one way.
Yeah, it does seem that way. It's not.
Okay, it's not.
It's not.
I was going to say the Minnesota senator, two people were shot in Minnesota, I believe.
Yeah.
And so there's been political violence on both sides. But even to advocate, the response should not be, to me, the bullets are only going one way. They need to go both ways. No, the response should be political violence is not acceptable in any form.
Completely agree.
Steve Bannon, we have to have steely resolve. Charlie Kirk is a casualty of war. We are at war in this country.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon.
Yep. So I'm going to say this to you, Jared. So those are strong. They're very, very strong.
I'll get to you. Go ahead. Finish that. I have a comment. Yep.
And the problem is that, how do I say this the right way? Like I do not advocate violence. Period. Right. So anything I'm about to say might sound like I am. I'm not. But I understand the thought, because it does feel that way. When Charlie Kirk got shot, there was no riots, no buildings got set on fire, no cop cars got turned over.
But you did have the President of the United States calling for taking all kinds of actions against lunatic left groups.
Yes, but Jerry,
and that's a very powerful. So to me,
Jerry,
my concern.
are you going to ignore the fact that I just said to you that when the Democrats say things, I just watched the video today of must have been 8 or 10 of them.
What Democratic leader?
I can show you.
What Democratic leader?
Yeah, go ahead.
A leader, not just an ex-person, a person on X.
No, these were these were politicians. Yeah. These are politicians.
Because I saw Gavin Newsom said violence is unacceptable.
No. This is long before Charlie Kirk.
Shapiro said violence is unacceptable.
Yeah.
What Democratic leader promoted violence?
Man, you know what I was going? Okay. I wanted to grab the clip because there were 6 or 8 of them.
When
Maxine Waters was one of them.
Okay, all right.
Jasmine Crockett was another.
I don't think. What did she say?
No.
I'll have to get the quote. I need the facts.
I have to go get the clip.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, but I didn't think it was that important.
Actually, in some respects.
No, but I just want to finish this thought. So it has to be made clear, Jerry, that when the Democrats are upset about something, whether it's George Floyd, legitimately upset, the responses, the way Democrats respond, the way liberals respond, the way young progressives respond, is nothing like the way conservatives do. We did nothing. We prayed when Charlie Kirk got shot.
I see words here from high-level people.
Did you see a cop car flipped? Did you see a building getting burned down?
You don't.
Did you see us shooting at anybody?
You do see Pam Bundy saying she's going to go after people who speak hate, and you see people getting fired from their job because they made a comment, and in a land of free speech. And even Charlie Kirk said
you are very well diverting from my conversation.
Hate speech is legal in this country, and yet people are getting fired because they said something that somebody else didn't like about Charlie Kirk.
Who?
There's an article recently in the paper about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the person's name.
So we have free speech in America. I'm sure whoever you're talking about, including Jimmy Kimmel, was not
Jimmy
arrested.
Kimmel.
He was not arrested for what he said.
The federal government got involved with...
That is not what happened.
The FCC chairman, we all saw it.
Yep. But why was he fired? He was fired by Disney
because the pressure put on him by the FCC chairman.
By the two customers, the Nexar and Sinclair said, we're not going to show that show. That's business, Jerry.
Trump took credit for getting Colbert off. Trump took credit for getting Kimmel off.
Well, that's Trump.
And Trump is saying I have other people who I'm targeting. So all I'm going to say is,
I'll grant you that because Trump wants credit for everything, even the bad stuff.
I'm not going to advocate for violence at all on either side. I am going to say that I'm concerned that some on the right seem to be trying to take this shooting and use it as an opportunity for vengeance. It's called the Reichstag fire. The Reichstag.
I know all about it, Jerry. Just watch that today.
Wait. The Reichstag fire was a fire.
That's absurd.
What
you're saying is absurd.
Actually, it's quoted in one of the quotes.
Okay.
But Karl Rove gets it right, as does Mike Pence. Both of them said the left didn't kill Charlie Kirk. It's not justified as retaliation against your political rivals. And that's Karl Rove, and basically Mike Pence did the same thing.
No, I wouldn't argue any of that.
I'm just concerned about some taking advantage of this sad event and using it to discuss and debate his issues. This makes perfect sense. We should learn more.
This is before he died. He did some research. Charlie Kirk. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk.
I don't believe that.
48%
I don't
of
believe
liberals.
That.
55% said the same about Donald Trump.
I'd be curious to know how those surveys were compiled. It's not, from people I speak to.
Maybe because we live in a little bit more of a sane town that where we can disagree, we can discuss, but this is what's going on.
Yeah. And I see quotes here speaking how Charlie Kirk is getting shot in the head, is a shot around the world. I'm ready for civil war. Both sides, let's just say it this way, and maybe to wrap up, we can agree, I think, that there's no place for political violence on the left or the right.
Yeah.
And that there is a place for free speech, even if we're hearing, almost especially if we're hearing things we don't like. Because free speech is easy if you hear things you like. Free speech is tough if you hear things you don't like.
Again, not going to argue with you there. And, I usually avoid this stuff on social media, but I've been defending misinformation where I see it, and I'm getting unfriended because of that.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and
okay. I'll friend you.
I will say this. So the first video I did when he died, I said about the left and the right. Mm-hmm. I said we're in a really bad place right now because of what I'm watching here is terrible.
Yes.
What these people are saying is terrible. And my words were this: when you get into a conversation, and I was talking to anybody, whether you're left or right, doesn't matter. When you get into a conversation with somebody who you disagree with, if you can go into the conversation knowing, right, this debate, this conversation is about to start. If you can go in knowing you're going to shake hands when it's done, or you're going to hug when it's done. Yeah. If you go in knowing that, then the conversation's different than if I'm trying to beat you.
Yes.
It's just a different conversation.
Yes. Little League did do that at the games. I think it's very good, actually.
Yeah, 2468. Yeah. We appreciate it. Jerry. But to that point, I think the reason that I really, really enjoyed Charlie Kirk and I really, really enjoyed two dudes arguing is because it is a debate. It is obviously very different opinions. But at the end, I know we're going to go have another beer, and it's just that simple. I'll always shake his hand.
We may not have another beer because we have to drive.
Yeah, maybe not tonight.
But I will say, I think who got it right was the Utah governor, who's Republican.
Yeah.
Who talked about the dangers of social media.
Yeah.
Some of the things we're talking about. And particularly, he has a phrase, conflict entrepreneurs. Those people who are making money off of polarizing us.
Yeah.
So it's just a warning that they're out there.
Yeah.
And on both sides, and one needs to look for alternative sources and think of things on their own.
My biggest, and I'll make this the last thing I say about this, my biggest problem with all of this, and I am referring to Charlie Kirk, but it's really across the board, is that there are activists in California trying to naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. Now let's forget about it's not about California, but there are people out there celebrating Luigi Mangione.
And that's wrong, and that should be discussed because I understood or understand how someone could be angry at their insurance company.
I am.
Absolutely, you get
I'm
that.
not murdering anybody.
But it does not valid. And I can
No.
I guess it's somebody being angry enough to almost do that, but you do not celebrate
No.
somebody who goes over that
No.
line. That is wrong.
And they
totally
love him. They love him.
Yeah,
Like
totally wrong.
this
Yeah,
society
yeah.
is so messed up.
And unfortunately, we could probably pull back the onion and find over and over again on all sides of the issue people who are doing the same thing.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's all over.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
when I saw them celebrating him, I
yes,
was like, this is.
And there's people who celebrate people who assassinated good people, right?
Right, We're 40
that-
seconds over, Joe.
Yeah.
We're 40
Okay.
seconds over. We got to go.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.
Jerry, excellent conversation. I completely disagree with you. But God bless you all. We will see you at our next episode. Topic to be determined.
To be determined.
Beer
Yes.
to be determined.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.
Take care.